They say memory never lies. But what if millions of people remember the exact same thing, yet it never existed? Imagine waking up one day to realize the world isn't the way you thought it was. Not because you forgot, not because you misremembered, but because reality itself might have shifted. Welcome to the strange and mind-bending world of the Mandela Effect, where history feels like it's glitching right in front of our eyes. Let's start with a question. Do you remember the famous line from Star Wars, "Luke, I am your father"? Sounds iconic, right? Well, go back and watch the movie. Darth Vader never says that. The actual line is, "No, I am your father." So why do millions of people swear they heard Luke? Are we all collectively wrong, or is reality tampering with us? This phenomenon is called the Mandela Effect, named after Nelson Mandela because thousands of people around the world clearly remembered him dying in prison during the 1980s. They even recall news reports, world mourning, and speeches about his death. Yet, in our timeline, Mandela was released, went on to become president of South Africa, and lived until 2013. How could so many people share the exact same false memory? Coincidence or proof of something deeper? Let's dig deeper, because the rabbit hole only gets stranger. Some believe the Mandela effect is caused by simple human error. Psychologists explain it as confabulation, where the brain fills in gaps of memory with details that feel true. It's why eyewitness testimonies often contradict each other. We don't record memories like cameras, we reconstruct them. But here's the catch. How do you explain millions of people misremembering the exact same details? Take the children's book series, The Berenstain Bears. Countless people remember it spelled Berenstein with an E. Not just a few folks, generations of readers. Some even claim they still have books at home with the Berenstein spelling. But every trace in this reality shows Berenstain. Was it always like this? Or did we hop into a universe where that tiny detail is different? And it's not just books or movies. Famous brands are affected too. Do you remember Febreze with 2 E's? Guess what? It's Febreze, just one. How about Fruit Loops? Wrong again. It's actually spelled Fruit Loops. Even logos like the Monopoly Man cause confusion. People swear he has a monocle, yet in this reality, he never did.
If your brain is itching right now, you're not alone. Now, here's where the theories get wild. Some say the Mandela effect is evidence of parallel universes bleeding into ours. Imagine infinite versions of reality, where small details, like spellings, lines in movies, or product logos, are slightly different. If those realities collide, our memories from one timeline might carry over into another. Others believe it's proof we're living in a simulation. If reality is code, then glitches or updates could rewrite small pieces of history. Just like a video game patch, the system tweaks one detail, but our saved memory files don't always match the new program. That's why so many of us feel that something is off, like we've caught the system mid-update. But here's something even stranger. Official records and physical evidence sometimes change too. There are stories of people finding old VHS tapes, books, or objects that confirmed their memory, only for those items to later shift into the new reality version. Did the item physically change, or did the timeline overwrite itself entirely? This is where the Mandela effect transforms from a fun trivia debate into something much creepier. If our memories, documents, and even objects can change, then how much of reality can we trust? What if history itself isn't stable? Before we go deeper into the darker theories, quick pause. If your mind's spinning right now, you're exactly where you should be.
Here on Stick Exposed, we dive into the weirdest mysteries, the strange glitches, and the conspiracies that make you question the world around you. If this kind of content hooks you, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and drop your Mandela effect memories in the comments. I want to know which ones broke your brain the most. Now, let's continue unraveling this. One chilling theory suggests the Mandela effect could be the result of large-scale experiments messing with reality itself. Some point fingers at CERN, the particle accelerator in Switzerland. After all, they're smashing atoms at near light speed, searching for new dimensions and particles. Could their experiments have nudged us into a slightly altered timeline? Conspiracy theorists think so, especially since the first reports of the Mandela Effect became popular right after CERN's major upgrades. Coincidence or consequence? But skeptics argue that's giving too much credit to science fiction. They say it's all just collective misremembering. Think about it. If you were a kid reading Berenstain Bears, your brain might have assumed Steen was correct because it's a more common name ending than Stain. Or maybe pop culture reinforced certain phrases until they felt true, like Luke, I am your father. Our brains are designed to recognize patterns and sometimes take shortcuts, even if those shortcuts are wrong. But yet, even if we accept that explanation, why does it still feel so unsettling? Maybe it's because the Mandela Effect taps into our deepest fear, that reality is fragile, and our grip on it is weaker than we thought. It shakes the foundation of trust we have in memory, in history, even in the world itself. And here's the scariest part. The more you dive into the Mandela Effect, the more you start noticing glitches everywhere. Suddenly you're second-guessing the spelling of everyday brands, the lyrics of songs you grew up with, the names of countries on a map. Your brain begins to whisper, what else is wrong? What else has changed without me noticing? And whether you believe it's a psychological quirk, a multiverse bleed, or a simulation glitch, the Mandela Effect is a reminder of how fragile reality can feel. If thousands of people can remember the same false history, what does that say about the history we rely on today? Could major events have shifted, not just tiny details? Could wars, inventions, or even entire people exist in one timeline, but not in another? In the end, the Mandela Effect forces us to confront a terrifying possibility. Maybe reality isn't fixed. Maybe it bends, twists, or even fractures, and we're just along for the ride trying to piece together the puzzle. So the question isn't just, are we remembering wrong? The real question is, what if we're not? What if reality is glitching right in front of us, and the Mandela Effect is the only clue we've been given? Think about it tonight. When you look at the world around you, ask yourself, is everything really the way I remember it? Or have the rules quietly changed when no one was watching? And here's where the story of the Mandela Effect takes its most unsettling turn. Imagine if these glitches aren't mistakes, but messages. What if the universe, or whoever's running it, is leaving breadcrumbs for us? Tiny inconsistencies meant to wake us up, to make us question everything we thought was solid. Maybe the Mandela Effect isn't about faulty memory at all. Maybe it's the universe whispering, pay attention. You're not where you think you are. Some theorists even push this idea further. They claim that people who notice the Mandela Effect are the ones becoming self-aware inside the simulation. Like a video game character realizing the walls around them are just pixels, we might be glimpsing the cracks in the code. If that's true, then every moment of déjà vu, every uncanny feeling that something is off, could be a sign we're tugging at the edges of reality. But of course, there's another angle, and it's darker. What if these shifts aren't random at all? What if someone or something is deliberately rewriting history? Small details first, spellings, logos, movie lines, then maybe bigger things, historical events, political outcomes, even people's lives. If that sounds like science fiction, remember this. History is already rewritten every day in textbooks, media, and politics. If humans can bend the truth for power, why couldn't something bigger bend reality itself? And here's the paradox. If reality can change, how would we ever prove it? By the time we notice, all the evidence is already shifted. Our only proof is memory. Fragile, unreliable, but stubborn. That's why the Mandela Effect is so haunting. It puts you in a fight with your own mind. Do you trust your memories or the world you see around you? And at this point, some people shrug it off as just another internet curiosity. But others say, once you notice the Mandela Effect, you can't unsee it. It gnaws at you. You start wondering if the face of a loved one looks slightly different. You question whether that street corner was always there. You catch yourself asking, was it always this way? And maybe that's the most dangerous thought of all. Because if reality can change once, what's stopping it from changing again? Tomorrow, you might wake up in a world that's almost the same, but not quite. A world where your favorite song has different lyrics. A world where history books tell a slightly different story. A world where you remember someone who never existed. The Mandela Effect isn't just about false memories. It's about the terrifying possibility that the ground beneath us isn't solid. It's shifting sand. And maybe, just maybe, we've only noticed the first few cracks. So the next time you hear someone confidently say, "That's not how I remember it," don't laugh. Don't dismiss it. Instead, ask yourself, what if they're right? What if you're the one who shifted into their world? Because in the end, the scariest part of the Mandela Effect isn't whether it's real or not. The scariest part is that we may never know. This is Stick Exposed, and if this deep dive into the strangest corners of our reality made you question even one thing you thought you knew, then hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who swears they've seen the glitches too. And most importantly, drop your Mandela Effect experience in the comments. Which one made you question everything? After all, maybe your memory isn't broken. Maybe reality is.